belong to the Lord. Not the church, not the mosque, not the temple, not the synagogue, not the pastor, not the preacher, not the evangelist, not the imam, not the rabbi, not the minister, or the priest. All tithes and offerings belong to the Lord, and the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath day. To send your tithes and offerings directly to the Lord, log on to www.thenewnationofislam.com. That's thenewnationofislam.com, and look for the icon so that you can send your tithes and offerings by credit card, debit card, and check. You can also send your tithes and offerings by wire transfer directly from your bank account. This is the name on the account so that you can send your funds. Muhammad Temple, the Jefferson Bank, Fayette, Mississippi, 39069. That's 39069. The routing number is 065-303-056. That's 065-303-056. The account number is 84011. That's 84011. Remember, all tithes and offerings belong to the Lord.
Brothers and sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scripture and really not understanding what you've read? And if you're reasonably sure, have you ever tested that what you feel you know that may have a different view than your own? Then let's talk to one another. Let's reason with one another on a Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man, a live broadcast Sundays at 12 noon, Wednesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. So why don't you call in and let's discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scripture and their true meaning. So tune in to a Scriptural Discussion with the Son of Man every Sunday at 12 noon and Wednesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. right here on TV 33 and 88.1 FM WHPR. You can call in on the air or off the air at 868-0351, 868-0342, and 868-4336. Of course, the area code is 313. That's 868-0351, 868-4336, and 868-0342.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just, I greet all of you within the sound of my voice with the greeting words of peace from the Lord of the world. Allah's Salam Alaikum. We are privileged to have with us this evening, as I had, I think at the last meeting, said that I would enjoy would welcome a dialogue between myself and the Ku Klux Klan. And tonight we have with us Mr. Thomas Robb, and I'm going to read a bio, and then I'm going to give Mr. Robb a chance to personally introduce himself. And then I will let Mr. Robb know that we have not called him in here to disrespect him or to get into insulting dialogue, but to finally talk to one another instead of at one another about our grievances with one another, to begin a dialogue that can finally put an end to the problems that exist, the friction that exists between black and white people in America especially. Mr. Robb is also known as Tom Robb, and he is the National Director of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan and a pastor at the Christian Revival Center. Brief on his early life is that Mr. Thomas Robb was born in Detroit, Michigan, into a Baptist family and grew up in Tucson, Arizona. Mr. Robb's parents shared some political views with Joseph McCarthy, Gerald L.K. Smith, Kenneth Goff, and Mr. Robb, if I mispronounce someone's name, it is not intentionally. And Conde McGinley. Mr. Robb claims to have become awakened to the myth, quote unquote, myth of the Holocaust at the age of 13 while reading Conde McGinley's anti-communist and anti-Semitic paper entitled Common Sense. While still in high school, he was an outspoken supporter of segregationist ideals and an active member of the John Birch Society. Now, some of the activities that he has approved of or been involved in. In 1986, Mr. Robb organized a protest against the Martin Luther King national holiday in Pulaski, Tennessee, which is the birthplace of the Ku Klux Klan. The event eventually became known as the White Christian Heritage Festival, held each October in Pulaski. Over the years, Mr. Robb has developed a close relationship with other extremists, including J.B. Stoner, Ed Fields, Don Black, David Duke, Willis Cartu, Billy Roper, Michael Collins Piper, Canadian extremist Paul Frum, and former Croatian diplomat Tomislav Sunic. Mr. Robb, a prolific writer, defends the Klan as a harmless organization, gentle, upbeat, and friendly. When featured in the PBS documentary Banished, Mr. Robb compared a Klan hood to a businessman's tie, claiming that it's just tradition. Mr. Robb is a pastor who believes in creationism, or as some call intelligent design, and rejects evolution as an attack upon our faith. He is the pastor of a church, Christian Revival Center, and broadcasts on shortwave radio and Stormfront internet radio. In July 2009, his group lost a lawsuit and was ordered to pay $25,000 in punitive damages to the Rhino Times, a North Carolina newspaper, which it was illegally using to spread its propaganda. The case was filed in 2006 when the paper charged that the Klan inserted flyers into editions of Rhino Times. The Klan countersued for defamation, but the case was dismissed. Recent attention has focused on his family, such as his daughter, Rachel Pendergraft, and his granddaughters, Charity and Shelby Pendergraft. who have recently formed a white nationalist band called Heritage Connection. And some of the reference material that gives distillation of some of information on Mr. Robb is Rebranding Hate in the Age of Obama, and that's at www.newsweek.com/ID/195085 parenthesis, close parenthesis, and before you put all that www, it's open parenthesis, and then .newsweek.May 4th, 2009.htt:// www.newsweek.com/ID/195085. Now, actually, you don't have to put all of that. If you just put the major thing, it generally will add all of that other stuff for you. So I won't read all of that at the next one. And now the number 2, still dealing with reference material. Quote unquote, Ku Klux Klan files suit against Rhino Times, unquote. And then you can get that at www.news-record.com. And then you go, the third material is Christopher Garland. And since this is all reference material, what I'm going to do is allow Mr. Robb to disseminate that information to you as he sees fit. I want to allow him some time to speak to you and introduce himself, and to let him understand that we have grown up. We are not the children, the boys and girls who can't stand to hear people that have opposing views to us. We don't feel that people should be not allowed to express themselves. That is the one thing that America, regardless to the evil that I feel was done to us, that is one thing that America stands head and shoulders over the rest of the world in, is that they respect a person's right to think, and they put it in writing when they said freedom of speech. Because if you're not free to speak, you're not free to think. So, Mr. Robb, I want to welcome you to a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man, and we thank you for accepting our invitation. And when you finish introducing yourself, I only have a couple of rules that I conduct this by, and if you're willing to respect that, then we welcome you in here, and we will be more than happy to hear you. So are you there? Press *6 on your phone, and that will unmute you. And we would like you to introduce yourself, and you don't have to rush. Just relax and talk to us, for we are listening. Mr. Robb? Maybe he's a little late, and we.
Hello?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure. I've got this on a speakerphone.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine, Mr. Robb.
Fantastic. I'm glad. A long ways away. I'll hate to holler all this distance. I'm glad we have this wonderful telephone that we have in front of us, that we can make this conversation quick and short rather than having to holler and scream over the mountaintops.
Yes, sir. I agree with you. And again, thank you for coming in this evening. And now, introduce yourself and tell us a little about it.
You gave a fair introduction to myself. I am a grandfather. I have 7 grandchildren. I've got 1 great-grandchild. I've got another one on the way. And I love them all. I care about their future. I care about their heritage. And I'm concerned about the growing genocide against white people. And that's why I'm involved in a Christian patriotic group like the Klan, who loves our people, love our heritage, and want to preserve it for future generations.
Well, you know, I would like to ask you one question. I heard some information that kind of surprised me about the Klan that I did not know. That many people think that the Klan started off as actually a racist organization, and I was told by another Caucasian. He was visiting us from, what was that, Missouri? And he said that in the beginning, the Klan was not set up for racist purposes. It was set up as a means of chastising Caucasian men who may have been beaten on their women, on their wives. And
you're going to hear a lot of different people give a lot of different reasons as why the Klan was founded. Personally, I don't think either of the two you've mentioned so far is accurate.
Okay.
From my studies and my understanding, the Klan was founded in 1865 because of their concern of federal troops occupying Southern territory, and the people of the South formed the Klan and organized themselves to repel Northern troops out of Southern territory. And it was primary focus against federal intrusion to the lives of private citizens, much like the government is doing to us today. And the Klan was organized for that purpose. And I'm speaking, of course, not as a Southerner. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I've said many times, and I will say it once again, the Klan is not a neo-Confederate organization. If I was alive in 1861, I probably would have joined the North because I love the concept of the Union. And so the Klan is not trying to reestablish a Confederate homeland, but we are concerned about our children and our heritage and the growing genocide against our people that we face each and every day, not just here in the United States, but also in Europe, as our people are being displaced and targeted with hate and vitriol against our people and against our children. We were a nation that was 92% white as late as the 1960s. We are now moving to the point where we'll be less than half the population of this country by 2042. And the same thing is happening in Europe. White people have dipped below zero population growth. White people are in real danger of facing extinction. They are the only race that is facing that possible extinction. Black people occupy almost all of Africa, and the population of Africa is growing tremendously. Asia's population is growing, but the white race is facing extinction if white people don't recognize that and return a love for their people and their heritage, or soon your wish may come true. There will be no white people left in this world.
Well, actually, that's not my wish.
Well, you say that's not your wish, but that certainly was the policy of Elijah Muhammad, Mr. Poole, I think his name was, and certainly Malcolm X, who was a follower of Elijah Muhammad, whom you have posted there. You have Mr. Muhammad posted on your wall, as well as Wallace Fard Muhammad, who some people question whether he was even Negro or if he was white. But they promoted a very strong anti-white teaching throughout their years. And Mr. Malcolm X spoke quite eloquently, I might say, of his hatred towards white people. We are quite familiar with that. He would refer to white people as blue-eyed devils. He was never reined in by Elijah Muhammad and was allowed to promote that hatred for white people continually throughout the years until about 1964 when he decided to abandon the Nation of Islam and form his own organization after he made a trip to Mecca and found out what he considered the true teachings of Islam. And he came back and he abandoned Elijah Muhammad, abandoned the Nation of Islam, especially after it became revealed that he was cavorting with young teenage girls at his mansion. And so Elijah Muhammad is not really a character to elevate and to use as a mentor, considering his hatred for white people. So I question anybody who regards what they say, because words mean nothing to me. I look at a man's action, and I look at his associations, and Mr. Elijah Muhammad did promote white people, and you embrace Elijah Muhammad, then I question your motive also.
Mr. Robb, I have no objection to you stating your feelings. And
that's why you called me out. I think these are called debates. So, I'll be respectful to you. In fact, I want to add that I think your religion is pretty cool, pretty neat. I like your religion, actually. I think it should be promoted. I wish more blacks would support you. I know you have a sizable following. How large, I don't know. I wish you get more support and a greater following, because I think that perhaps if they would have a little more peace in their heart, and if they would have some gentle guidance that you seem to promote, maybe they would stop their rampage and raping and mugging and jumping out of trees and raping white women.
Well, Mr. Robb, as I said, I'm not the kind of person. I'm not a child now. I'm 61 years old myself, and so I've learned that if you want people to respect your views, you must respect theirs.
Well, see, that's where you miss it. I really don't care if you respect my views. I care about my people, and I care about my children, and I care about their future. And I care about what kind of nation they're going to have with this growing genocide against our people. That's what I care about. And
I have a question.
When I see groups like yours, who, because you do embrace Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad had a very colorful past, and his platform that you have on your website certainly seems you want all black prisoners released from prison. What is this? You want all black prisoners released from prison?
I have a question for you. If you say that you don't care what other people think, you don't care to show respect for other people, then what did Jesus say? Jesus said, as you would that men do to you, do that also unto them.
He also said, bring my enemies before me. So Jesus came as a minister to his people Israel, and those who he ministered to, he took the Pharisees and called them vipers and said that they were from Satan. He called them the seed of Satan. In Matthew 23, Jesus says that they're like whited sepulchres that appear righteous to men, but inside are full of all dead and
You didn't answer my question.
Changes out of the temple. So Christ had a very loving compassion towards his people, but those who would seek to destroy his people, he didn't have the same compassion and tolerance. In fact, in Matthew 15, he actually, one woman came to him who was not of Israel, and wanted to be healed, and didn't even speak to her, and said that told his disciples to send her away.
Mr. Robb, I'm asking you, are you saying that Jesus was teaching that you should only respect certain people and not all people?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you recall, Elijah in the Old Testament, when they tried to offer that sacrifice to the priests of Baal, Elijah mocked at them. He scorned them. He made fun of them, and he asked, "Where's your God at?" And they said, "Well, maybe he's out taking a walk. Maybe he's sleeping somewhere." And then,
I remember that, but we was talking about Jesus.
Finally cut all their heads off. He finally cut their heads off, So Elijah was a man of God and so on. I'm not advocating violence, but I am I am concerned again about this hatred towards white people.
Well, just a moment. If you say you're concerned about the hatred towards white people, when you look at the history, now you brought this up, not me. You look at the history of how my people were enslaved by your people.
Your people were benefited by coming to this country. Your people are better off in this country than in any black country of Africa today. There's not a single black nation in Africa today that gives free public housing, who gives free food stamps, who gives aid to dependent children, who air condition their homes in the summertime, gives free heating in the wintertime, gives free medical care. There's not a single black nation in Africa that gives any of those benefits that black people receive in this country.
Now,
don't tell me about how mistreated your people were. You know, coming over here, little slave ships, yeah, that was a bad deal. No question about that. You know,
just a moment.
That was a bad deal. But outside of that, ever since you all been here, you people have benefited greatly by the education, by the benefits, by all the services that you people enjoy that you don't have in Africa.
Get all riled up. Calm yourself down. I'm trying to talk to you.
Riled up. You don't seem to be concerned. I'm just simply telling you that black people have
and understanding. I'm trying to understand what your beef is with us. Because we didn't enslave you. You did that to us.
Well,
I didn't come get you out of Europe. You came and got us out of Africa and brought us here.
You didn't have the capability to enslave us. You didn't have ships. You did not have sails. You did not travel across the oceans. You did not travel to other continents. You were confined in your tribal communities in Africa. Of course, you did not enslave us.
I admit that.
I didn't enslave anybody. I never enslaved them. That was,
why are you saying, since I didn't do those things to you, you did that to me? You enslaved me. Y'all enslaved the black man in America.
When were you a slave?
To you?
When were you a slave?
When were we ever free?
When were you a slave?
I was in my mother's genes and my father's genes, just like you was in your mother's and father's genes, enslaving us.
Yeah, well, Africa's a beautiful continent, and if being in this country has been so harmful, then I would support Marcus Garvey's program.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about. I didn't come in here to talk to you about things that we both know happened.
Now you talk about who's getting excited. I mean, I'm telling you some facts. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm
telling you how it is too, and we both can agree on that. But we got to get the thing straight. You don't tell me that if somebody enslaved you and put you in chains and beat you for 400 and some years, you come out loving them. Don't talk to me like that. I mean, I'm not a child.
Tell me one Africa country where you would be better off than you are here.
I don't want to be in nobody else's country.
Tell me one country in Africa where you are better off than you are in this country.
I'm not better off nowhere but in a house that I control.
That's right.
That's where you better off. You better off.
And more and more, they're getting more and more control of.
Just a moment. That's what y'all fought the Revolutionary War.
You say in your deal here that we want our people in America whose parents or grandparents were descendants from slaves to be allowed to establish a separate state or territory of their own. You've got Detroit. You've got Cleveland. You've got Memphis. You've got every major city in this country under the domination of black people, and they're dangerous places to go. You're not safe.
You're still trying to explain to me what I mean by what I say. No, you don't tell me what I mean by what I say. You let me tell you what I mean by what I say. Just like I will you. I mean, I'm not going to try to put no words in your mouth. Now, as long as we are in any place in America where we were in bondage, regardless to what's given to us, the fact of the matter is that President Reagan said it so eloquently and so concisely. Where there is no land, there can be no freedom. I'm not talking about wanting to take over Detroit.
You've got every major city in the country now is in the hands of black people.
I'm not trying to take over America. I'm not interested in taking over your house. I would say let you have your house. All I'm saying is that since we know we don't really get along, since we ought to quit lying to each other And I agree with you that you can't let.
I think you're lying to me when you tell me you love white people. You don't love white people. How many white followers do you have in your new nation of Islam?
I'm not banishing.
How many white followers do you have?
White people, they can't accept Islam. There are many white Muslims.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't have any white followers.
Because just like when you invited black people into Christianity, a black man
didn't invite them, but people did.
Well,
I agree.
Just a minute. I'm gonna let you answer.
Now, this is debate right here. Debate. If you can't handle a debate, I'm sorry.
No, that's not debating, cutting each other off. I'm not cutting you off. I'm trying to answer what you say to me. And if you call debating barking over each other and trying to over talk each other, that's not a debate.
I don't think we're doing that.
Well, then let me finish, and I will let you finish when you're saying something. Now, when you invited us, when we were invited into Christianity, just because a black man was invited into Christianity, that didn't mean he had to come over there and move into a white community. I mean, you can practice your religion wherever you at. And me personally, I don't want your white woman. And I don't want my daughter marrying your white son. And you don't want that either. So me and you ain't got no gripe there.
I agree, and that's one thing about the Nation of Islam I've always respected, is that they are black nationalists.
I mean, we ain't lying to each other. So if anybody going to straighten out the problems that exist, the friction that exists between black and white, it's going to have to be us who be honest and tell the truth instead of grinning up in each other's face and then stabbing each other in the back.
Well, I'm just going by your points that you believe here. These are points that you put on your website.
Okay, well, let's go point by point. You tell me which ones you have a problem with.
Okay,
if all of them, let's go through them all.
Point number 9, example. The United States government should provide free all necessary textbooks and equipment, schools and college buildings for blacks.
Okay, now let's deal with that. Now when
you're supposed to give me some free stuff.
Just a moment. Let's see if that's an unjust.
Free?
If you think that's unjust, you have a right. But let me explain why we asked.
You need to explain that.
A moment. No, I haven't explained anything.
But you need to. Free.
You got
that's the word I want you to explain.
Thing there.
Explain free for me.
Now, it's time now that we elaborate on these things. For I know something about the history of America. Now, I've watched this government after Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. After Japan openly declared war on this government decided that the Japanese citizens that had been wrongfully interred, which I have a question about whether they was wrongfully interred. I mean, they was, but they declared they was wrongfully interred. Okay, the government agreed to pay some type of reparation to them. Now, here we are, the ex-slaves of America, after being under you for 400 and some years, and we still under you, and after being told that we were free. Now, if you held us in that bondage for that length of time, made it against the law for 300 years for us to learn how to read, then after you supposedly freed us, we didn't know what freedom is. We didn't know that without land you don't have no freedom. And once you get land, you still have to know how to develop that land. You still need a means to start farming and on a large scale. You need to know how to establish your own government and all of that. Those things you could share with us. You could share that knowledge with us. I'm not interested in your money. I don't want your money. I want your knowledge. I want you to be willing to teach us what we need to know to go for ourselves. We can respect each other on that. Especially if we say...
Who's holding back the black men in Africa?
Say what?
The black men in Africa have never been slaves to anybody.
I'm not
How come that
talking about
continent is in such turmoil?
Africa. Don't change the subject. I'm talking about us here in America.
Oh, we're talking about free. That's the word I'm looking at. Free.
You will, if you are.
Free. You're supposed to provide free equipment, schools, and you're saying because we kept it away from you. Well, who kept it away from the blacks in Africa?
Not Africa. I'm not trying to argue with you about what happened in Africa. I'm arguing with you about what happened to me and my people here under you.
Well, you benefited pretty good over here.
And if the African got a beef with you, he'll take it up with you. But right now, let's keep this between me and you. Now, you say you don't want to give us no free this and free that, but you took free labor from us for 400 years.
I never took any free labor from anybody.
You took it.
I didn't take it. My ancestors didn't live in this country until 1900.
Even in your laws, in this country, if you didn't have to rob the bank, you didn't have to be even on the premises or been involved in it. But if you received the property that the robbers took from the bank, then they call you an accessory after the fact.
Well, I received an inheritance from my forefathers who built this country out of sweat and labor.
If you want to inherit any house.
Oh, come on now. You're a grown man. You know, you're a grown man. There was no slavery in the North, or there was for a short period of time.
And what do you mean no slavery in the North?
Slavery. Slavery in this country had created more harm for white people than for black people. Black people benefited from their presence in this country. And
sir, you still trying to speak for us.
Your presence here. Even Abraham Lincoln said the same thing.
So, you don't speak for us now. I speak for us. And no, sir, we ain't benefited from being slaves. We only benefit from slavery.
Tell me a country in Africa where you'd be better off.
When we benefit from slavery is when we get set free, and when you ask us, okay, we're freeing you. Now, what do you need from us to help you get yourself going so you can stop getting up in our face telling us what we owe you? Now,
I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you owe me anything. You're the one saying I owe you.
No, now you're trying to play with words.
Tell me what country in Africa where you think you'd be better off than in this country where you have received wonderful, continual, enormous, overflowing handouts from the federal government, which comes right out of the pockets of taxpayers in this country.
No, sir, I didn't. Well, if you want to talk about taxpayers, there's a lot of black people working and you taking tax money from us.
Oh, yeah, okay. There's a lot of black people working. I'm aware of a lot of black people working. We're talking about
I go to the store and buy something,
black people in this country are better off than they are in any other country in the world.
Well, now you keep
don't moan and groan about how you're mistreated.
You're making me think.
You're better off than any country in the world. You cannot name a country in Africa that would treat you better under black despotic leaders than you have being treated in this country by the benevolent,
no black despotic leaders. No,
white
up under white people. I'm the Lord. I'm the Son of Man. I'm here to lead my own people.
I thought you were the Holy Father.
Just like Moses was there to lead his people, and he talked to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh didn't listen, of course. But, like I said, I'm not alone. Allah's with me. And I'm trying to fix it where we don't have to have no kind of problems between us. All you got to do is just do me like you would want to be done. You
live in your fairyland if you want. But the point is white people are only going to tolerate black people taking their homes, taking their families. 32,000 white women are sexually assaulted by black men every single year.
I'll tell you this. You got my permission to go and do whatever you want to.
Number of black women sexually assaulted by white men is less than
I got 10, no great love for
according to the FBI statistics. 32,000 white women are assaulted every year. I'm sorry. That's why I like your religion, because I think if more blacks will support you,
then why don't you tell them to do that?
It seems like a peaceful, mild, soft-spoken, nice guy. I even posted that on my blog, my Facebook account. That you seem like a gentle person. I wish more blacks would listen to you. Maybe they wouldn't be out raping, robbing, and mugging people so much.
I'm the Lamb of God. You're never gonna find me other than gentle. I'm not
the Lamb of God. I thought that was Jesus Christ.
Here to do no harm to white people. I'm not here to do no harm to nobody.
Where did you get this title, Son of Man?
I want my people free. That's all.
Yeah.
If my people listen to you all more than they do me, And to hear a Caucasian tell them you ought to join with the Son of Man would go a long way.
Well, I think they should. I think the blacks should support. I really do, because, like I said, I think you're probably, even though you're misinformed, you support the thug Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X and so on. I think probably that's really not your nature, and I think that more blacks would support you. Maybe they'll be more kind and gentle and peaceful and not be out there robbing, killing, and mugging and raping our people so much.
Now, let me let you hear something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said about white people. Because you got him wrong, I'm telling you.
Well, no, wait. Tell me what you want to say, then I'm going to reply to it.
Just a moment. These was his last words to me. This is what he said, and I'm going to let you hear it. And it was about white people. Now, I want you to hear what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told the Nation of Islam about white people right before he passed away. Listen to this.
We want to thank the Chicago white people for making it possible for us to obtain the country club, for making it possible for us to get in such position where we can prove ourselves worthy of that position. Yes, sir. We thank them. They have did us a great favor. Yes, sir. I don't think that we have nothing to do but to honor and thank them for putting us in such positions. Yes, sir. This is their house. We are here teaching the truth. Yes, sir. They're not objecting to you teaching the truth. As we have white Muslims in America. And lots of them. We have them all over the world. Yes, sir. And they recognize and respect you. That's right. Go ahead, you must recognize and respect it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes. You don't disrespect people that is trying to respect you. Yes, sir. I remember the last time that I was out to the airport. They let me and my followers get on first. Now remember that flag is still flying over America. Yes, sir. Honor and respect the man. Yes, sir. Because he still have his flag. There's much that can be interchanged between them and us. In that way of respect. Yes, sir. We don't have to get up to try to make fun of them just because you have ruined yourself. And now you have ruined them. Yes, sir. That's right, Apostle. Just remember. Yes, sir. That they show you respect after you have ruined yourself. Show them respect too. Yes, sir. Because when you didn't know yourself, you didn't respect self, nor anyone We used to disgrace ourselves and them too.
That's right.
Because we didn't know ourselves.
Yes, sir.
But now we respect ourselves and we respect them.
Yes, sir.
Praise be to God.
Yes, sir.
You'll go out there disrespecting the honor of this land. They are alone, as long as they're in power.
Yes, sir.
I think you will be showing disrespect for the high honor that has been conferred on you.
Yes, sir.
And me by God.
Yes, sir. Thank you, dear Holy Father.
Yes, respect everybody. And everybody will respect you.
Right.
Mr. Robb, when I was in the Marine Corps, I learned that you always, regardless to what your commanding officer ordered you, his last orders are the ones that take precedence. And the last orders that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave me was what you just heard there.
Well, it was difficult to hear. Do you have but I got the general gist of what he said. So that's why I told you. I said I wish black people support you because I think that, and this is one thing that we've gone on record many, many, many times, that we think the nation is some of the black nationalist groups have uplifted and helped many, many black people, give them self-respect, help them learn to become decent people, treat their wives decently, treat their children decently. So I respect that avenue of that program. I certainly do that. That's why I said I wish more black people would get behind you, and maybe we wouldn't have so much chaos with them jumping out of trees and raping our white women. But the point is, mister, is that we are, well, I guess you're not mister, you are, what are you, the Most High or Excellence, or what is your title? Grand Holy Father. What title do you have again?
My title is the Son of Man.
Where do you get that title at?
From the Scripture. The Scripture teaches you. Jesus prophesied of my coming. He said, as the lightning cometh out of the east.
So I could, if I wanted to, I could call you the Blessed One or the Son of the Highest.
No,
or I could call you the Holy Anointed or the Bread of Life or the Great Swami. I could call you any of those titles.
It's sufficient that you call me Son of Man if you so choose. If you don't, I'm not here to get into no semantics thing with you.
I'm just curious.
That's not important.
That embarrass you any to have people call you Son of Man?
All of my followers call me Son of Man. Some people
that
call
don't
me
embarrass
nigger.
you any?
Some
I'd
people
rather
call
just be
me
called Grandpa or Tom. You know, I don't even feel comfortable when people call me Pastor. I don't say I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I guess it doesn't bother me. And I do appreciate the respect, but generally I'm just Tom, and my favorite title is Grandpa. But that's beside the point. Anyway, my concern. Would you have a concern that white people became extinct in this country?
No, I don't want white people to become extinct.
Well, all right, then that's what we're facing.
White people have already shown that they have much value.
We're facing a country and a world in which
I'm not interested in trying to. I would not want to get rid of all white people any more than I'd want to get rid of all of my white cells in my blood.
Yeah, well, you know, we are a country that was not, like I said, 92% white at the end of the 1960s. We are now today about 60-some% white. We'll be dropped below 50% white in the year 2042. Europe is already a zero population growth. Don't you think that should raise a level of concern in my head and the hearts of white people?
And I agree with you. And it's something that needs to be said and done that all Caucasian men need to hear. This foolishness about men going
white
with men, you need to cut that foolishness
and preserve their heritage and culture and quit swallowing the lies that disbase white people and take away white pride and take away our white culture and attack us. The Atlantic Magazine used to call it the Atlantic Monthly, in their January and February edition of 2008, we've had an article called "The End of White America." What kind of world are we? What kind of nation do you think this will be when white people are no longer in control? Will we be like Africa?
Understand
do you think it's just possible? Do you think it's just possible that when white people are no longer control this country, we'll end up like Africa?
I have a question for you.
Wait, I want to know, do you think that's possible, that we might end up like Africa?
I don't. I know that it's not going to end up into no bad
if
way.
White people are no longer in control of the country and is in control of blacks.
Just a moment. Don't ask me a question and don't listen to my answer.
Just like Africa, then what do you think is going to happen to this country? If America ceased to exist as a white nation with a generous benevolence to blacks and other minorities, and we become a non-white nation, and we end up looking like the third world nation, how is that going to benefit you?
This is what you don't understand, Mr. Robb. You got an argument prepared for another forum. That's not the argument.
No, I have an argument prepared.
Taking that argument to you.
White people. You're just not prepared for somebody who loves our people, loves our heritage. You want to talk with somebody like Terry Jones, who, admittedly, you walked all over him like he was yesterday's carpet.
No, I didn't walk all over
because he didn't know. He didn't have an issue. He didn't have a concern. You know,
just like I'm telling
people,
you the truth.
You come on there and just talk bad about your religion, which I'm not talking bad about your religion. I think you got a neat religion, and you want to be called a son of man. Oh, go for it.
Hello.
I like your religion, and I wish all black people support your religion, and maybe they'll be more decent, and we wouldn't be afraid to walk down the street.
I don't want nobody butting in here thinking that this is some kind of let's go for it. This ain't no. I never was a person who if I was going to get in a fist fight with somebody, I don't want you jumping in. If I'm gonna lose, I'll get my behind whooped, but I'll get it whooped like a man.
All right. Well, you're getting it done tonight.
Don't come in here.
Don't come in here. I'm a spokesman. I'm a spokesman for white people, just like you claim to be a spokesman for black people. I'm a spokesman for what I consider Jesus Christ. I'm a spokesman for God of the Bible. Just like you claim to be a spokesman for Allah.
I'm going to tell you this now.
So I'm going to be a spokesman for my people, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. But I'm going to be a spokesman for my people. I am going to be a spokesman for my children. I am going to be a spokesman for my grandchildren and for my children yet unborn.
I'm not trying to
tell you and on their concern and their survival and what kind of world they're going to have as a nation, as our nation becomes more and more non-white. It's going to end up like Africa. It's going to end up in chaos. And there's not a country in Africa where you don't want to live today, and you're not going to want to live in the country of America if white people are no longer in control.
You're getting away from the subject, because once I get my people...
Get away from the subject. This is a spiritual discussion with the Son of Man. And I'm talking about
then let the Son of Man say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Now, when I get my people here together, then we collectively, we won't put Africa's woes on you. We'll deal with Africa ourselves. But I'm not going to deal with Africa.
You're not doing very good right now. Africa's in chaos.
At the moment. Don't cut me off. I'm not going to cut you off.
Well, but when you make a statement, I've got to challenge you on it. I can't
just a moment. Let me finish my statement. I said, once the black man in America, once we get our head on straight and get ourselves into an independent state, then we will go to Africa. I will send the ambassadors to Africa and tell them, let us help you. I'm not going to ask you to do it.
Well, they're out to butcher you if you do, because we've been sending missionaries over to Africa for 200 years, and look at Africa today. It's
good has it done. You yourself just said that Africa's in pitiful shape after all them missionaries and stuff you sent over.
It's beyond pitiful shape. It's in chaos.
All right. Well, then I'm not going to ask you to send no more over there. I'm going to get my people
together. I like that idea. I think we ought to stop. Absolutely. Africa's in chaos today, and I don't know of any black man in America who would rather live in Africa.
Like I said, I'm not trying to tell you. Keep trying to put words in my mouth. I haven't told my people we need to go live in Africa. Wherever I'm at, that's going to be my home. Now,
but you're bringing Africa to America.
No, I'm not trying to bring Africa to
America.
Yes, you
are.
are.
When white people are no longer in control of this country, America will be in chaos. Let me tell you a short story, if I can. It'll take about 2 minutes. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
My father was an insurance salesman. Every summer, when I was not in school, he would say, "Tommy, you want to ride with me and for the day while I go to work?" And I would jump in the car and go with him to work. He was an insurance salesman, and much of, if not most of, his insurance route was in black areas of Detroit. He went door to door, knocked on the doors. I sat in the car, and do you know what? All those black areas in Detroit were safe. They were safe areas. They had a strong black community. And my mom never was afraid of me riding with him. She never said, "Bob, you better make sure you got a gun. You better make sure you be careful." No, there was no fear because the black community was safe. It was a safe place in Detroit. What has happened?
Let me explain something.
Because the shift of power has changed, and white policemen are afraid to go into those areas. Detroit is not safe today.
Just a moment.
White people don't control the city. It's in the hands of blacks who have destroyed Detroit, destroyed Cleveland, destroyed Memphis, destroyed East St. Louis, have destroyed downtown Denver, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Georgia. They're all in poverty. They're all bankrupt, and they all have a handout for the white man, taxpayers, to give them free stuff, just like you said in point 9 of your program.
Well, I'm not going to debate that with you because it's a
Of course you're not going to debate it because you would lose the debate. I can understand you not wanting to debate it because it's a fact. Detroit was safe back in the early 1950s and it was safe, a safe place.
You can tell that I'm not afraid to hear what you have.
Let me tell you something. In every major city of the country today, it is unsafe for people to walk down the street. Let me tell you, and it's not only not safe for white people, it's not safe for black people. Young black girls live in fear of being raped in a darkened hallway or in back alley somewhere, not because of me, but because of their own black brothers and sisters.
You jumping on yourself. I didn't bring that up. You brought that up. But the fact of the matter is, you keep
I'm here to present truth. Just like you said, I present the Word of God and the truth, and I can't help it if some people don't like it.
Well, I noticed that you every time I go to say something, you don't want to hear what I have to say. Are you afraid that what you're saying don't really stand up on its own?
No, because you like to pontificate. I listened to your introduction to Terry Jones yesterday, and you spoke for almost 40 minutes before you even gave him an opportunity to say anything. You like to pontificate, you like to talk a lot, and when somebody challenges you on it, you get your feelings hurt. And I'm sorry, but this is a big world. And if you have a program, you need to be prepared to meet the challenge.
I don't mind meeting the challenge, but I think you are afraid to meet it because you don't think that what you say can stand on its own. That's why you don't want to hear me say something contrary. But if you are really telling the truth, there's nothing that I could say to undo the truth that you said.
That's right.
Okay, well, what are you afraid to let me speak for?
I think people listening here are quite aware that you've have had ample time, and you just don't know how to reply. That's all.
Everybody that's listening to this have heard me give you more than ample time to express yourself, and every time I go to talking, you will cut me off, which I didn't do to you.
Okay. Whatever you
now, I'm saying, you keep talking about how safe it was when your daddy was coming up and selling things in the black community. Yes, it was safe. I grew up in Watts, and I know how safe it was when I was growing up, when the white police was there and had us like, it was all black community and all the police was white.
And when some black guy got out of hand, they bopped him on the head, and then
I told you. See, you really don't want to hear the truth.
Go ahead. You're funny.
That man say on Few Good Men, Jack Nicholson, he said, you can't handle the truth. now, let me tell you the truth.
Okay,
the truth is that there is always safety for any people that have all of the weapons, that make all of the laws, that call all of the shots, that have all of the jails, that have all of the food clothing and shelter needs of another people, then
wait, you missed the mark.
Just a moment. No, I didn't cut you off. Let me finish.
I'm telling you, the black people
when your daddy was going through the black community, they're doing the same thing in the black community now, not just your people, but every people. I seen when I was growing up, they had Chinese people with a mama store in the black community. And everybody had stores in our community but us.
Black community.
You talk about how nice it was.
Listen, well, black.
Yes, it was nice when everybody else using our resources. And, we had the semblance of being free. We thought we was free. And we didn't think about the fact that we was working for white people. And my daddy worked for Chrysler.
I got to jump.
My daddy
I can't let you pontificate any longer. I said the black people
I told you couldn't handle the truth.
Because you don't want to hear it. The black people were safe. The black people are safe. Young black girls are safe. Today, elderly black people live behind bolted doors because of the gangbangers on the street.
I'm not talking about that. Everybody in the black community
of their fellow black brothers.
That the black community was safer when there was both a mother and a father in the house, and most of the working people of the house was the men, and the women stayed home and raised their children, and that was throughout America. So I grant you that yes, that the community was safer when the family structure was stronger. But that has changed now.
Too.
But the fact of the matter is that no people that have been through what the black man and the white man in America have been through with each other, just like you.
The way you talk to me
again. The way you talk to me is not like
whining.
Just a moment. The way you talk to me is not like a man talking to another man.
I feel like I'm talking to a child.
You talking to
whining.
me like a slave
in Africa. There's not a black country in Africa where you get treated better than you are in this country.
You're making a grave error talking to me like that.
Well, strike me dead then. Listen, there's not a black country in Africa today where a black man lives better and is freer than he is in this country today.
Oh, there's no such thing. A man in his own country, if he ain't doing nothing but fishing and hunting and wearing animal skins, is better off than a man that's living in a mansion in somebody else's country. So I don't want to hear that.
I'm not even sure what that's supposed to mean.
But you know what it means. The same thing
that
actually,
you said, I'm not as smart as you are. I'm not the son of God, so I'm not as smart. But, tell me what it means.
Well, I'll grant you're not the son of God, but I'll grant you this.
And I don't have any other titles like the Most Highest, the Lamb of God, and the High Priest. And I'm not the Grand Swami. So
that the black man
you do have to kind of talk down to me because I'm a simple man.
You know,
tell me what that
just
meant.
like your son. It's just like your daughter. You know that your son and your daughter have not experienced manhood until they got out on man and womanhood until they got out on their own and fend for themselves. You know that.
If people in Africa have been on their own for thousands and thousands and thousands of years.
No, it ain't gonna take no thousand. You ain't been here for 6,000 years. Not no thousands and thousands and thousands.
Well, I know because you believe we're from you believe Jacob created us, don't you?
I don't believe that. I can show you that in the Bible. Who you think the sons of Jacob are?
Jacob created the white man because you do genetic engineering, right?
One of your own scientists, Mr. Gregor Mendel, told you that.
Whatever. I'm just saying. Okay, it's whatever you want to say. That's what you believe, right? You believe that an evil scientist named Jacob created this pasty white man through genetic engineering, and he lost his color of his skin. He also lost his soul.
No, sir. I don't believe that. No, sir. I have never taught that, and we were never taught that. The white man...
Muhammad didn't teach that?
...is not somebody who was bleached and all of that. That's not true.
He didn't believe that... And actually, the teaching came from Wallace Fard Muhammad.
Just a moment. The white man came about the same way that a white mouse came about. He came about in a laboratory.
Genetic engineering. That's what I said. I know it's a big word, but that's what I said. Genetic engineering.
Let's tell the truth then.
And he created a white man.
That's why you never saw a white mouse in your house.
So this white man is kind of an evil creation, right?
The mind.
That's what you believe, isn't it?
At the moment, if you want to know what I teach, I'm not running from it.
I'm asking you.
The white man, the mind that we put in you, was not spiritual. It was.
Oh no, wait! I've got a problem right here. You put your mind in us, but now you have to come to us to learn how to do farming?
No.
Oh, yeah, you want all this free stuff because we got to teach you, you said, how to do all this stuff so you can make it on your own? And then you can turn right around and say, you put your mind in us?
Just a moment. You just answered your own question. We put that mind in you. We're not coming to you. We're coming back to the mind that we put in you.
Okay. Well,
so don't tell me that it's just like when we gave you dominion. The scripture says we
dominion.
We rested, not meaning we got tired.
I'm kind of curious, when did you give us dominion?
Objects in motion tend to stay in motion.
When did you give us
Objects
dominion?
tend to stay at rest unless acted upon by an outside or inside force.
When did you give us dominion?
We gave it to you 6,000 years ago.
6,000, you just gave it to us.
That's what your fathers was telling you when they said you had a manifest destiny. That manifest destiny was for you to have dominion over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the face of the earth.
Yeah,
and you have exercised that.
All right, that's interesting. All right, you gave us dominion. That's pretty cool.
I'm not playing no game here.
Oh, I think it's cool. You gave us dominion.
Not parakeeting anything. I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
You notice when you go to sleep, you and somebody can come to you and ask you a question. Now this is a physical truth. They can come to you and ask you all the questions they want. I don't care how smart you are. But they ask them to you while you sleep, they ain't going to get no answer. But when you wake up and clear your head, everything that you knew before you went to sleep comes back to you. And everything that I knew before I was put to sleep coming back to me. And that's why
so you don't need our help anymore then?
You. So
you don't really need our help then? We've all been awakened?
I'm warning you. You better be careful how you deal with me.
Well, I'm asking you. You've been awakened now, so you don't need our help anymore?
Only thing I need you to do is to recognize who I am, and if you let me, I will go away from you and tell you as I go. Well,
I'm still hung up on this word free.
If you don't give me what I want, the next time them hurricanes and stuff come in on your country, it's not going to be no let up. Now, if you think that we've been on this earth, look how long you've been here. You've been here for 6,000 years, and you done learned how to split the atom. You done learned how to do all of these things with genes and whatnot. The black man been on this planet for over 76 trillion years. Do you honestly think that we've been on this earth and don't know how to protect ourselves on it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, well, I'm telling you that the forces of nature have been ordered to fight on my side.
Well, I don't know. I mean, gosh, when the slave ships came to Africa, you guys didn't put up much of a fight.
No hurricanes coming here no more.
Yeah, when the slave ships came to Africa, you people didn't put up much of a fight.
Oh,
they should have come. I wish they never brought you people over here. I mean, I agree. It was a terrible thing. I wish they would have kept you there. And you could all been over there enjoying your wonderful African country instead of over here where you're terribly mistreated because it's just a terrible place. You can still live in a hut over there, I suppose. So I wish they never went over there with their slave ships, but they did, and you guys didn't even put up a fight.
George, in the book of Genesis, the 15th chapter is a prophecy of our slavery to you. It says...
I've heard you read that before.
15th chapter of Genesis, in the 12th verse, it says to Abraham, when his name was Abram, it says, when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto him, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance.
Yeah. Well,
I'm telling you.
Most people kind of interpret that to be when they were in Egypt. Maybe that got past you.
No, sir,
that's what most people kind of think. That's referring to Egypt. But even if you want to quote that, that's fine. You know, I don't really care. I don't care what you teach your black brothers and sisters. I don't care. If you want to teach them that you're the master race and you gave us dominion, and if you want to teach them that we're from Yaqub, and you want to teach them, I don't care if you teach them that stuff. I really don't. I really don't care what you teach your people. I say go for it. You know, if it makes you happy, go for it. I don't care.
Sir,
you know, so I'm not trying to get you to change your religion. I really don't care. I'm just saying that white people are facing extinction. White people need to wake up because we are losing our country.
Well, you know, you just
some people care. Some people don't care. And so I'm the one who cares.
I mean, don't give me Hitler's. Don't put Hitler's jacket on me. I haven't tried to say that I'm better than you because I'm black.
I just said I don't care what you teach your people. I don't care. I really don't.
I don't teach that you better than nobody because you a certain color. The only thing that makes one man above another man is what that man has in his head. If you have wickedness in your head, you're just a wicked white man.
Well,
if I have wickedness in my head, I'm just a wicked black-skinned man.
Because we're feeding millions of you people. We're giving house food stamps, health care, aid to dependent children, heated homes, air-conditioned homes. It was white people who gave you the Civil Rights Law. It was white people who gave us the Martin Luther King holiday. So, you know, y'all benefiting pretty good. And, I don't know what your beef is, but,
you just said you gave us food stamps, you gave us this, you gave us, well, you took our tax money?
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, what are you talking about? You didn't give us nothing that we didn't give you first.
All right, that's good.
I know that's good. Don't talk to me like I told you. You're making a mistake and you're dealing with me.
Strike me dead. Go ahead. Do it.
The worst thing you can do when you're
dealing
with someone
How long will it take you to strike me dead? Can you do it in 20 seconds?
No, I didn't threaten you dead.
Well, I don't know. What's going to happen to me?
Oh, Allah will fix you. Didn't you read that whosoever fall on that stone shall be crushed?
Well, okay.
Whosoever that stone shall fall on, he shall grind him to powder.
Yeah. All right.
Worse things than death and having a mind that you can't control. A mind that's not capable of reasoning.
Hey,
when you ain't got no mind no more, then you will understand why you shouldn't have done that to me.
All right.
Okay? All right. Laugh it off. Pharaoh did that.
I do laugh it off. You know, I feel like when my grandson comes to me, my 4-year-old grandson, and said, Grandpa, I went to the moon. I don't get mad at him. I don't yell at him. I pat him on the head and say, oh, did you have fun? That was great. You went to the moon. And that's how I feel. You know, I mean, say what you want. You know, I feel like I want to pat you on the head and say, oh, that's nice.
And I'm glad that you noticed. Don't none of y'all feel threatened by me. You're not supposed to. The scripture says, whosoever shall humble himself as a little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. I'm glad you compared me to a child. That makes me understand that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Okay. I'm humbling myself.
Well, like I said, I think you got a cool religion. I think you'll spread it among all your black brothers and sisters because maybe they will stop.
I don't call you out of your name. I call you Mr. Robb. And I don't feel like it belittles me or is beneath me to show respect to someone who's older than me. And even if you wasn't older than me and you were my guest in here, I'm going to treat you like I'd like to be treated.
Well listen, I think I'm treating you with respect. I just give you some tough questions.
You have been kind of disrespectful, Mr. Robb.
I'm giving you some tough questions, that's all. And you don't like being challenged.
To me, you talk to me in a way that you showed me that you're not listening and understanding that you're not dealing with a dead man. And you should check yourself. And I know you know what dead means.
Okay. All right.
In your Masonics, you were taught that I was raised from a dead level to a living perpendicular. And I know you should know better than what you're doing. You're old enough to know better.
Point 5, we want an immediate end to the police brutality and mob attacks against the so-called Negro. When was the last time there was a white mob attacking black people?
Well, like I said, I mean, at the time when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave us that. There was all types of mistreatment of us, of you, and it's
Oh, no, yeah, but no, that's on your website today.
Let me finish.
Right now, it's on your website. Mob attacks against so-called Negroes. When was the last time there was a mob attack? I can tell you the last mob attack of blacks. The last one I'm aware of was at the Mall of America just 2 days ago.
When you enumerate your laws and things that you consider right and just and things that you consider unjust, if you go to a point in there and people say, well, I ain't doing none of that to you. Well, if you ain't doing none of that to us, then you don't have to worry about that.
Well, listen, it goes right back to it. Our laws have given us including you, a pretty neat country to live in. Much neater than Africa.
Tell you something.
Our laws have done pretty good for you, haven't they?
Just a moment.
Haven't our laws done you pretty good?
Just a moment. You just wait a minute.
There
is no such thing on this planet as a good or bad place. The only thing that makes a place good or bad is the people that's there. Every place is good if the people that's there are good. And every place is bad if the people that's there is bad.
Well, if you want to call the black people in Africa bad, I don't know. But the thing is, it's a question that you keep avoiding. You cannot name a black country where you would rather live than good old USA with the old white man laws.
Just a moment. First of all, there's no such thing as a white man's law or a black man's law. There's only a such thing as a just law and an unjust law.
Well, all right, so white people create just laws. There's no African nation that has just laws where you'd rather live.
I don't rather live no place but some place that I control. Even if this country here in America would give us some territory to ourselves here.
Well, black people control Africa, don't they?
Just a moment. Now, you asked me the question. Don't ask me the question.
But you're not answering me.
In my mouth. I mean, I bet you when your grandson come to you and you ask him a question, you don't try to put words in his mouth. You just compared me to him. So why you doing me like that?
You're avoiding my question.
No, I didn't avoid your question. I avoided the answer that you tried to put in my mouth.
Avoided the answer. That's right.
So don't try to tell me how to answer questions that you ask. When you ask me a question, let me do the answer. When I
so
ask
you're going to
question,
tell me what country you'd rather live in than the United States?
You have not once been able to accuse me of trying to put words in your mouth.
Well, it may be a little difficult for you.
No, I wouldn't try. I'm not a liar. I'm not a deceiver.
I'm not putting words in your mouth. I'm just asking a simple question. Name me a black country you'd rather live in than the United States.
No, I never told you I wanted to go to Africa. We never asked to go to Africa.
I didn't say you wanted to go. I know you don't want to go. I'm quite aware you don't want to go. Because Africa's in chaos. You're a smart man not wanting to go to Africa. You're probably a smart man not wanting to live in Detroit.
Africa. The black man is not the one that called that continent Africa. Alexander the Great called that country Africa. We never called this planet by all of these different names that you got here.
Okay, did Alexander the Great destroy Detroit?
Children did that. The black man, the original man, that when you call black people aboriginal, what you are actually saying is Asiatic black original people. The Asiatic black man is called that because we didn't call the planet and the continents by all these different names. We called them Asia. And we called Africa Southeast Asia. And we didn't call these continents by all of these names. Y'all renamed everything. We gave you that privilege to do that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Place I go on the earth, I'm at home. I don't have to go nowhere. The scripture say the earth is the Lord.
You're mistreated here.
The scripture say the earth is the Lord.
Treats you terribly.
Those who mistreated us going to be paid.
You're mistreated in this country, aren't you?
No, the scripture says God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. I'm offering you salvation.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
If you don't want it, that's you.
I got my salvation from God. I'm sorry. I got my salvation from the man who shed his blood upon the cross for my remission of sins. I got my salvation from the one who created heaven and the earth. I'm not getting my salvation from the Son of Man in Fayette, Mississippi. I'm sorry.
I mean, you ain't never got to believe it. When Jesus was here, y'all didn't say you was getting your salvation from it.
Yeah, well.
You slapped him and spit on him.
You still never answered my question about where you'd rather live instead of America.
Changing the subject again. Now,
you go back to the same question. We wandered off of it. I'm coming right back to it. Where would you rather live than America? You know, the country that treats you so badly.
I'm living where I want to live, which is in the new nation of Islam. And I'm not going to be treated by nobody like they treated my daddy.
Yeah.
I'm not here to be treated like that. I'm the wrong one to try that on.
Well, that sounds like a threat now.
Well, you fix it how you want to.
What happened to this peaceful man who's just going to love everybody? Now you're threatening me?
This is what you do. You have all the guns. You got all the bombs. You got all the bullets. You got all of these weapons that you can kill a man, then he'd never even see who shot him.
And you give us that power too?
Talk to a man who ain't got no gun, got no bullet, got no nothing to do nothing to you with, and now you want to say I threatened you?
Well, I mean, you're the one that has all the power. You gave us some type of dominion, which is also nice of you. I appreciate the dominion you gave us.
What threatens you? What threatens you is that you got to answer for how you have done.
I haven't done anything.
You think
people
that
live pretty good in this
you
country.
Inherited it.
You live pretty good. What's going to happen when they cut off the food stamps in Detroit?
I'm not worried about no food stamps.
Well, what's going to happen?
The God who raised me can
what's
do
going to
me
happen?
just like
What's going to happen in this country if the white man cut off?
Eat one day and go sleep for 3 months and wake up and stretch. And
it's a simple question. What is going to happen in this country when a white man cuts off the food stamps and public housing?
I'm not worried about what white people cut off. You can't cut off no
What do you think is going to happen?
Allah is with me.
If white people cut off food stamps and public housing, if white people cut off food stamps and public housing, what do you think will happen?
You keep on making it a black and white thing. You still stuck on thinking
you're
that
not
your color
answering
makes
my
you
question.
And
you don't want to answer my question. Well, just tell me what do you think. You don't have to agree with it. Just tell me what you think.
I'm not on food stamps.
I didn't say you are. I mean, you got a lot of benefits after all. I saw right at the beginning we were supposed to send all the tithes and offerings to you, the Lord. So I'm quite sure you're doing quite well because the Lord has all the tithes and offerings. But I'm not talking about the average black man in Detroit and Cleveland and St. Louis and Chicago and Philadelphia and Atlanta and Memphis. What's going to happen when the evil white man says, oh, wait, I'm tired of feeding you guys. And we cut off food stamps, we cut off public housing, we cut off the heat, we cut off the air conditioner. What do you think is going to happen?
You keep talking about cutting off something to the black man as though you living in a vacuum.
We're giving it to you, aren't we? Who do you think is paying for all that stuff?
Just a moment. You ain't giving us nothing. You keep on suggesting that you giving us something when you taking taxes from us.
Okay, well then why are they taking it then? You're telling me.
And you've been taxing us equally to white citizens of this country while not giving us.
Yeah, you're dreaming. You're smoking marijuana or something. You really believe that. But if you want to, that's okay. But the thing is, we're back to the same thing. What do you think is going to happen if that stuff gets cut off?
Well, let me tell you something. If they cut off marijuana, I mean, I don't grow no marijuana. I don't produce no alcohol. All of the drugs that's in the black community came from outside of the black community. We ain't got no drug factories.
Well, didn't Wallace Muhammad spend 3 years in jail for distribution of drugs?
No.
Your founder?
No, sir.
Well, that's what I understand. That's
you heard a lot of things. You heard that we was niggers and coons and all of that. But
I'm not saying those words. Those are horrible words. What's with you?
I mean, I don't, that stuff don't bother me now.
Well,
I mean, it would be the same as you calling me Johnson.
I'm not calling you. I didn't call you any names. So don't put words in my mouth. I never called you any names, except I called you the Son of God and the Most Holy and the Holiest Pope and whatever titles you have, Great Eminence and the grand.
Well, you keep on forgetting that I didn't tell you to call me all of that. I simply told you I'm the Son of Man. You got a problem with that?
I just find it kind of interesting. That's all.
You know, I mean, you done found out that the same thing so many others found out. I'm not talking to you according to what I understand. I'm talking to you according to what you can understand.
Okay. I'm a simple man. I appreciate you lowering it down for me because I'm just a hillbilly down here.
Notice you have not misunderstood a word I've said.
I appreciate it. Talk that simple talk for me. Will you do that for me, please?
I'm talking whatever level of communication is required to speak to the one that I'm talking to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so let's go back to my questions that you haven't answered.
If you think it's low, then you think little of your intelligence.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you recognize that you are an intelligent man and I'm able to converse with you, then you ought to recognize that I'm also an intelligent man.
Well, okay. Well, of course I know you're intelligent because you gave us dominion.
And then why did you compare me to your 4-year-old?
Well, I don't know because I said that's how you were acting. But I should know better because you gave the white man dominion. We wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for you giving it to us. But now you want us to teach you, and you want all this free stuff.
Now you're trying to put words in my mouth.
Don't want the public housing cut off or the food stamps or the welfare. Oh, I forgot the welfare. I didn't mention that. And, of course, you're mistreated by all the police. You're anti-police. You're anti-law and order. You're concerned about mob attacks against Negroes. I don't know when that is happening.
Say that I'm anti-police and I'm anti-law and order.
Black people are not even safe in the inner city. Not just white people, not even black people.
Is it that I
people
can live in Mississippi? Each other up. Just a moment. If I'm living in Mississippi and it's anti-law and anti-police, how come I ain't sitting up in jail?
I'm just going by what you said. I don't know what you are.
There's no such foolishness as that.
Police brutality.
Now, that is the problem with the way y'all do. That's how you do. That's how
Negroes.
They did the President of the United States because he's a black man. They lie on the man and say he said this. Some of them said he was anti-Christian, he was anti-this and anti-that. But one thing about it, the truth came out when Congressman Joe Walsh stood up while the president was speaking and said, "You lie." And even the Republicans and all of the people told him, "Man, you apologize." And I'm going to tell you something. I never thought that I would live to see any president of the United States be so disrespected. Because I really thought Caucasian people, regardless of when it all boiled down, they all loved their country. And they put that office there. And whoever occupied that office, I was taught, even when I was in the military, that you don't have to like the commanding officer. You don't have to like who's in charge, but you respect his rank. That's why a perfect stranger could come up with some bars on his shoulder, or some eagle on his shoulder, or some stars on his collar, and say, "Hey, Marine, get over here and do such and so," and you just snap to it and say, "Yes, sir."
Well, anyway, I wasn't congressman. I didn't say you lied, and I didn't even bring up Obama or the president. So that's a side issue. Whatever. I don't care. You're right. Okay, you're right. Whatever you say, I agree with you. That sounds cool to me. I'm still concerned about this issue of genocide against white people. I'm still concerned about the fact our inner cities are in chaos. I'm still concerned that this idea that the black man has been treated so badly when you know place else you want to go. These are issues that I've been bringing up all through the last hour to 35 minutes, and you haven't answered any one of them.
You came in here knowing that I was not for no genocide against your people.
I didn't say you were. I just said there is a genocide against our people.
What you bring that to me for?
Because I said I think you got a cool religion. I think it's neat. I think you ought to spread it to more black people. Maybe if more black people would become a decent person, maybe they'll quit hacking white people, quit their flash mobs, quit jumping out trees and raping white women when they take the babies for a walk in the park. If they maybe live your virtue, maybe all these black people stop being crazy and go out and they'll have a decent life.
But
so I think you got a cool religion, Most High. So I like your religion. I think it's neat. So I have nothing against your religion. I think it's a neat religion.
I want you to come back and we do this again. But I don't want to cut it off yet, unless you just have to go. But I don't have to go. But I want you to remember.
I'm having a good time.
All Caucasian people to remember. I want y'all to stop suggesting somehow that black people are some kind of threat to you when you know we don't have no way of means.
32,000 black men 32,000 white women are assaulted by black men every single year.
Anytime a black man would assault a white man or a white woman in this country, you got more than enough bullets and bombs to deal with him.
Yeah, but they're not dealing with it.
We sure ain't got no means of attacking.
They're not dealing with it. That's the whole problem. They're afraid to deal with it because they're afraid some Yoko is going to call them a racist or something. The cops are afraid.
No,
they're afraid
to
deal with the black crime problem in this country.
As though the black man in America.
Even Jesse Jackson said when he walks down the street and he hears footsteps behind him, he's relieved to find out it's white youth behind him and not black youth.
Well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told all of our people and America too. He said, "You will one day wish that you had helped me get my people up out the mud." Now, if you won't civilize a person, then you got no complaint when they grow up.
We've been trying to civilize you people for years, centuries, and you're still jumping out of trees and raping the white women. But you got a good religion. I like your religion.
Just
so keep at it. You got a good religion. They keep sending their tithes and offerings to the Lord, and you keep putting out your message, and you'll get these people. Your black people. They'll maybe raise them up a little bit. They'll be decent black people. So I like your religion. I think it's cool, and I support it. 100%.
Well, I'll tell you, I appreciate that, but I don't appreciate you telling me that you've been trying to civilize us. No, you don't.
You said it. I just repeated what you said.
Trying to civilize me.
I just repeated what you said.
No, I never said that.
You certainly did.
I never told you.
Talk about how you've been trying to civilize a man. That's all. I just picked up on the word. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Maybe it was the wrong word. I apologize. We haven't tried to civilize you.
Nobody tried to civilize them. So I mean, if teaching civilization was what you've been trying to do, you are a dismal failure.
Well, you people are better off here than in Africa. You still won't answer that question.
If you ask me whether I'm better off in this country than I would be if I was in Africa at this point, I would tell you yes.
Absolutely. Our country has treated you pretty good, hasn't it?
Don't cut me off.
Wait, our country has treated you pretty good, hasn't it?
Let me say this to you.
Wait, is that a yes or no?
The reason I say what I said.
You won't answer my question.
I'm answering the question. But
it's a yes or no answer.
So you don't need to go again trying to ask me a question and then put words in my mouth. Now, you let me answer the question since you asked it.
Okay, but I'm gonna be listening for a yes or no. Go ahead.
If I was in those countries the way that they have been portrayed in the news, standing up, being able to talk back and forth and express your views without fear that the government gonna come and shoot you down or drag you off and torture you and all that kind of stuff. Well, I have to say, being in America is head and shoulders over what I done seen through the news. Now, I haven't been to those countries, but if it's like it I have seen in the news, they need to copy the American Constitution where it says freedom of speech. And so
who gave us the Constitution?
I respect that.
Who wrote that Constitution?
Beg your pardon?
And who wrote the Constitution?
Well, I was told that about 50-something founding fathers of America.
White Europeans?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, thank you. White Europeans have created a pretty neat country, haven't they?
A moment. Now, if you want to get into bragging and all of that, who brought y'all out of the cave?
Gosh, I'm just asking a question. White Europeans have given us a pretty neat country, haven't they?
Seeming to try to bolster something that if we had not sent Musa into the caves when you were cave people, you would still be there.
Well, I really appreciate you opening the door and letting us out of the cave. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Cool.
In the scripture, it says, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. If you recall, when the serpent made trouble in the garden, God cursed him on his belly.
Well, I'm glad you let us out of the cave. That's cool.
This is the history of Caucasian people.
I'm not denying it. That's great. I'm glad you let us out of the cave, and I'm glad you gave us dominion.
But I tell you what, Mr. Robb, in all seriousness, I appreciate the dialogue that we have.
I've been serious right from the beginning.
You know, we have a little fun from time to time with each other, but I do see your point, and you can't. I've said it many times. White people can't just let. I mean, if you let black people and white people keep intermixing, there soon won't be no white people. So you should be to yourself. God gave you a woman, and He gave us a woman. We don't have to be trying to marry each other's women. And I think that as far as civilization goes, to this date, the Caucasian has contributed more to civilization than any other race of people. And I will give you that. I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm stating a fact. And so, but look at all of the technology, look at all of the advancements, and then look at the character of human beings in this civilization, and you will bear me witness that we have devolved into thinking beasts. Preying on.
Well, you know, all that has occurred over the past 40 or 50 years as white people begin to lose control. Because remember, we created a pretty neat country. We had like a neat constitution. And we had really had just laws. And Detroit was safe, and Cleveland was safe. And not only were white people safe, but black people were safe. And so, you know, really this was a lot of benefits in this country. But now over the past 40, 50 years, things have changed. And the biggest thing that has changed is we have become a country from 92% white to a country that is just a little over 50% white. White people are losing control. White justice, white law. White cops can no longer drive through black neighborhoods and bop some black guy in the corner of the back of the head when he rapes a black girl. He can't do that anymore, so the little black girl lives in fear. And so, those things are happening, and chaos is coming to America also. And it's time that white people regroup, regather, love their heritage, love their culture, love their laws, love their children. And when white people regain control of our country, not only will white people be better off, but black people will be better off also.
Just when I step away from now I was listening to you, but just when I step away, then you let me talk. but anyway, let me say this to you: that when you look at the history of white people losing control, white people haven't lost control as far as being in power. Well, white people have lost control of that which put them in control of everything else. He now can't control his own mind. Can't control his own desire.
Absolutely, because when we bring aliens into our country who challenge our laws, and challenge our customs, challenge our history, challenge our morals, challenge our values, and when white people who are tolerant are willing to deny their own heritage, their own culture, try to get along, we have debased ourselves, and now we're facing a judgment for it. Yes, white people are still in control as far as numerically about the people in Congress and the Senate, but white people's character has lost control because we have lowered our character down to try to appease all the other people of the world.
No, you didn't lower your character down to try to appease people. What happened was you have found out now what Jesus told you a long time ago. He said, make to yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, meaning study physics, study all of the creation, get fluent and get wise in those things. Then he said, and when you fail, so that when you fail to do what? when you fail to be able to put good character in yourself, then you will listen to the Word of God. You see, because
we had good character in this country for 150-some years. We built the most powerful country in the world, the most free country in the world. We had a country that had the most economic opportunities in the world. We were as one of the Pilgrim Forefathers says, we were a city on a hill. Ronald Reagan reiterated that in a statement. We were a city on a hill. America stood out as a beacon of light and hope to the world, all during this time. When you think we were such evil people, all during this time we stood as a beacon of light to the world. And it's only been in the past 40 or 50 years when we had turned against our own people, when we turned against our own heritage, when white people are afraid to love themselves and love their heritage, love their culture, afraid of expressing love for their own people because they're afraid that somebody's going to call them a racist or a hater. So they make special laws to appease minorities. We no longer can control our home. If I don't sell my home, I can't sell till I want to. If I own a business, I can't hire who I want to. I've lost control of my homeland. I've lost control of my heritage, and now we're losing our country. And that's the reason we're suffering today. And as we go down, your people go down also. Your people were benefited under our white dominion that you gave us. I forgot. You benefited from us, just like my little story about Detroit, Michigan. And now your people are suffering the consequences of our folly. I don't blame the black man for the conditions of America today. I blame the white man, because the white people have turned against their own heritage, culture, and have turned against our God. And judgment is upon the white people today. And when white people are being judged by God, we're losing out. We're losing, and we're losing out from what we were from the beginning of 1620 or 1607 right up until to the 1960s.
Just remember
we are judged today. I don't blame the black man for the conditions of America. I blame the white man for the conditions of America. But the black man is suffering also as a result of it, and that's why your cities are unsafe. That's why there's no strong black families anymore. That's why black children are living in fear in all your major cities, because white people lost control and suffer, and black people are suffering as a consequence.
That's why I'm here, to put an end to the suffering. All you got to do is
get out and talk to your black brothers and sisters and tell them to join, to send them tithes to the Lord.
It's just like when you was talking about white people have stopped loving themselves. No, that's not what hurt them. People still love white people. They just never learned to love their neighbor as their self.
Well, yeah, that's another issue. When that neighbor was talking about loving your own brothers and sisters, when in the New Testament it says about loving your brother, if you look at the Hebrew or the Greek rather than the New Testament, it means your racial brother. But that's another story.
No, that don't mean that. Jesus
well, whatever. I mean, I don't really care. You teach how you want to your people.
Want to talk to them. And Jesus said, "Who are my mother? And who are my brothers? Whosoever doeth the will of my Father, the same is my mother and my brother and my sister." That ain't had nothing to do with race.
All right. Well, I mean, that's neat. Tell your people that. Maybe they'll stop raping white women.
Well, my people don't rape white women.
They don't? Wow.
No. Whosoever doeth the will of my Father, the same is my mother and my brother and my sister.
Okay. Well, like I said, I think that's neat. I wish you well. I hope you really spread your message among your black community, and maybe you'll.
One question I do want to ask you, and I want you to tell the people the truth. Tell me the truth. And guys, I think what you just told me is that you don't have no problem with me.
I don't have any problem with black people in general. I live in a nice community. If I lived down Detroit, I might have trouble with black people. But no, I think you've got a pretty cool deal going on there, and I think you, like I posted on my Facebook, you seem like a real soft-spoken, gentle person. I think you probably are. I think you're a little confused with your aligning yourself with Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. Well, of course, Malcolm X then became a traditional Islamic, but beyond that, I think if the black community will listen to you, they might.
No, I have not aligned myself with Malcolm X. I did not.
Okay, Malcolm X was a protege of Elijah Muhammad, so Elijah Muhammad never reined him in. So I guess he endorsed his
Malcolm X turned against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Well, that's only because at the end when he found Elijah Muhammad shacking up with a bunch of 16-year-old girls, but beyond that, when Malcolm X turned on Elijah Muhammad, is because he said he turned against the hate of Elijah Muhammad, and he embraced traditional Islamic
since you went there. Now, I'm not going
to talk
about
Mecca.
Solomon.
He went to Mecca and he bragged that he was rubbing shoulder to shoulder with blonde-haired people and people of all races, white people and brown people and black people, and they were all brothers and sisters. And he said they lost all their whiteness and their white attitude and things like that so he embraced traditional Islamic teaching. Now, I'm not an authority on Islam, as I'm sure you are. I just know that when Malcolm X turned what he said was away from the hatred of the black Muslims and embraced traditional. He said we're all truly brothers.
Going to link me.
So he embraced all people. That's when he left Elijah Muhammad, when he started embracing all people as his brothers and sisters.
I don't have Orthodox Islam. I do not believe in Orthodox Islam.
I'm aware of that.
I do not practice what they teach. And I teach exactly what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought. I stand on that. And as far as linking me with Malcolm X and all of them hypocrites, I'm not with them people. And
But before Malcolm X turned on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I think his name was Poole, wasn't it? James Poole? So, anyway, it's something like that.
Just what y'all called him. But you know how that goes. I mean, y'all change y'all's name all the time and don't seem to have no problem with it.
It's okay. Elijah Muhammad is fine. That's a neat name.
Don't respect the man. I bet you had more respect for him.
No, I mean, I think that's a neat name. I think it's cool. Maybe I'll adopt a name like that. How would I sound? Thomas Mohammed. That sound pretty good?
You can call yourself what you want, but that don't make you no right.
I might be Thomas Mohammed.
And if a man,
how do you think that'll work with me in the Klan? Do you think all the Klan people like me being called Thomas Mohammed?
Do you honestly think that I think that an Arabic name means anything if the person...
I don't know. I just want to know if Thomas Mohammed would be a cool name for me to use.
I don't care nothing about what you call yourself. I'm looking at what you do and how it measures up to the Word of God.
Okay. How about Thomas Mohammed? Sounds pretty neat.
Name what you want. Don't make no difference to me, but that ain't going to change what you are.
So back to Malcolm X. We're still on Malcolm X. After he left Elijah Muhammad, that's when he became a loving of all races. Prior to that, he was a hater. And Elijah Muhammad never reined him in.
Well, like I said, I mean, when you tell me that you love me and then tell me to go commit suicide, I don't think you love me.
I actually never told you either.
Malcolm told black people that they need to go and pick up guns and that kind of thing and defend themselves.
But I'm saying Elijah Muhammad never reined them in.
Just a moment. Now, you said these. Now, let me answer. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called it just what it was, bloodbath teaching. And any so-called Negro stupid enough to go buy a gun from white people, talking about he finna fight white people, is a fool. Is a fool.
You won't find no argument here.
I don't.
A lot of white people got guns. So, yeah, he'll be a fool, all right.
Got a sense then to go try to fight you with weapons that I had to get from you.
Yeah.
Just like you be trying to fight God with his weapons.
Elijah never reined them in. Elijah never excommunicated them.
He did. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad told Malcolm he out.
When was that?
Malcolm didn't have to be put out.
What year was that?
Malcolm.
What year was that?
Malcolm decided that he didn't believe anymore, he left.
But what year did he excommunicate him?
No, it wasn't. Malcolm excommunicated himself. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't do that. Malcolm
that's the point. So Malcolm X was out doing all this wild talking, and Elijah Muhammad still pat him on the back and said, "You're a good boy."
No. What really got Malcolm in trouble was when he disrespected the President of the United States.
Oh, so it's okay to call white people blue-eyed devils. That didn't get him in trouble, but when he disrespected the president, that got him in trouble.
No, you're not gonna gloss over that.
I'm not glossing over it. I'm asking a direct question.
The Honorable Elijah
Malcolm X
Muhammad
called white people blue-eyed devils. You know that. That's not. You know that.
We ain't
You've heard
taking
his
that back. I
I've
know
heard
what
his
I'm
speeches.
talking
I've
about
got his
on that.
speeches.
If you want me to go there, but the thing that we was talking about Malcolm. Now, when Malcolm was told, and all of the ministers of the Nation of Islam were told, when President Kennedy got shot, the messenger told them, "Don't you say nothing about the president." So all of them was quiet. And when they put a microphone in Malcolm's face, Malcolm said, "Well, you know, if you send your chickens out,
chickens come home to roost." I know he said that.
Well, the chickens came home to roost.
Yeah, that's what he said.
And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him to sit down and be quiet for 90 days. And Malcolm got mad. And then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad put in the paper, he said, when Minister Malcolm made the statement about our president, he was speaking for Malcolm X and not the Nation of Islam. He said, we too mourn
all
the death
that's
of
well
our
and
president.
good. But what about before? Before he said that, when he would go around the country speaking to Harlem and so forth and calling whites blue-eyed devils.
Well, I mean, that was Malcolm doing.
Yeah,
what
Elijah
Malcolm,
Muhammad didn't say a word about it. He patted him on the back. He was a good boy.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad simply told the truth, and if you want me to show you in the Bible that the white man is the devil, I'll show it to you.
Oh, that's it. I'm glad you're finally coming out now. The white man is the devil.
Do you want me to show it to you?
Oh, sure, yeah, show it to me.
John 8:44.
Well, read it to me.
Oh, you got a Bible, don't you?
I sure do, but you're one that's telling me it's there. Tell me, what does it say?
John 8:44, Jesus said, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father ye will do.
And he was talking to white people?
He said, you said, show it to you, I'm going to show it to you.
Hey,
He
but you
said,
said he
ye
talking to
are
white
of your father, the devil.
I thought he was talking to the Jews.
And the lusts of your father you will do.
He was a murderer in the
murderer
beginning.
from
Both
the
not the
beginning.
truth, because the truth was not in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
Oh, now you
I'm
wanna
familiar
cut
with the
me off.
scripture. Now, but the thing is, he was talking to Jews, wasn't he?
The reason you don't want me to keep reading it is because you know I'm going to get down to that part where it say, when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own.
I just quoted it to you. I wasn't afraid of it. I just read it.
And saw Jewish lie.
I just quoted it to you.
I never looked in the dictionary and saw the term Jewish lie. I never looked in there and saw the term yellow lie. I never looked in there and saw the term black lie. But I did read in there white lie.
Okay.
He speaketh a lie. This the devil now. It said when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own. For he is a liar and the father of it.
Well, you know, it wasn't very smart of you people giving dominion to the devil. Why did he do that?
Well, that's what the devil asked at the beginning.
Well, I'm kind of curious why your people who were in control, why you gave dominion to the devil people.
Let me explain to you why we gave you dominion.
Okay, explain it to me.
We gave you dominion for the same reason that your scientist, when he wants to build your immune system, he injects you with the virus.
So we're guinea pigs.
Come on, listen.
We're
He
guinea
injects you
pigs.
with the virus, and then your immune system goes to work.
Isn't that right? We're guinea pigs, right? Because Jacob created all these guinea pigs?
Not no guinea pig.
Well, you said you know, kind of use it like a test animal. You know,
Keep
kind
on
of
trying to suggest that it was done and it was some kind of joke. It was not no joke. It was done to help produce me.
I don't understand. That wasn't very smart, giving dominion to the devil.
It was not. No, you can't second. Does the clay say to the potter, "What makest thou? This is stupid that you made me." I know what you talking about.
I'm a simple man, so I guess I had to mull on that for a while.
What you need to do is learn to do what I have done. Don't speak on things that you are not knowledgeable of.
Okay, I'll try to watch myself.
Okay, you think I was joking? Go over there to Job.
The Son of Man. I forgot about.
Lord to ask the devil, what have you tried Job over there? Have you considered my servant Job? If the devil wasn't doing what God wanted him to do, why did he stick him on Job?
Cool.
So don't tell me. I know what I'm talking about.
I guess you do. You're the Son of Man.
I'm the only one that know what he's talking about.
You're the Son of Man, the Lamb of God, and you're some other titles too, I guess. So I guess you know.
That's right. I know.
That's right.
Worship that which we do know. I can't see that. Oh, they want a station ID. Reverend Robb, they want to pause for station identification. Give us a minute.
Okay, well, what time is it? I said between 8 to 10. Is it 10 o'clock yet?
10:02.
10:02. Well, then I'm going to go, and after I'm gone, you can continue on. You know, I've had a fun 2 hours, and I guess I finally figured out you don't want to live in Africa, so I guess that's pretty cool. You'd rather live here. So we did find out that white men created our wonderful laws, so devil can do some neat stuff, can't he? The devil gave us these wonderful laws. It gave us a wonderful constitution, and the devil created a wonderful country. And now you want to come to the devil to learn how to and get free stuff. So anyway, that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go, and you all have a nice evening, okay?
But don't tell me I wanted to live here. I mean, I ain't been able to live here for the past 400 years.
Okay, well, whatever. You know, move to Detroit, Chicago. Those are really nice places to live. You might want to get yourself a summer cottage in Detroit.
I would like to continue this dialogue.
Hey, I like Terry Jones. You know, I'm not afraid to talk to you because this has been a charge. This has been a charge, and I'm wondering whether you got the guts to call me back and arrange another appointment. But I can't do this every night, you know. I can't do this every night. I do have a life. And so maybe in a couple of weeks, if you want to give me a call, I'll be glad to jump on this again with you. And we'll put out an email to our membership. And I'm looking at my emails coming to your Facebook and stuff. They're all having a ball, too. So you've been a real source of entertainment for us. So, yeah, I can't do this every night. But if you want to call in a couple of weeks, if you think you got the nerve to do it, go ahead.
I would like you back Sunday.
2 hours. I'm a busy man. Call me back in a couple of weeks. We're here right at the end of December. Call me back sometime about the middle of January, and we'll arrange something again, okay?
Yes, sir. And thank you,
all right,
Reverend Robb, for coming in.
All right, fantastic. Most high. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you. We're going to pause for station ID. Let's get busy.
You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park.
Right here. Are we back? Hey, man. All right. Well, you know, brothers and sisters, if we are not going to talk to people that got a axe to grind with us, they're going to always have it. You notice his problem ain't with me. That's all I want to know. I mean, he got no problem with me, which means he ain't got no problem with you who follow me. Do you understand? So if he told you, you ought to get with me. All right, then. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm not interested in keep on going from generation to generation, telling them you did us wrong, you did us. No. Give him an opportunity to make it right. Then you can stay out of his face, like he would like you to do. But don't tell me to go and then you brought me here. That's like telling me, okay, you can go back to Africa. Where the ship, man? I don't know nothing about no navigation. And stuff, teach me how to navigate the thing. And teach me how to fix it if it breaks on the way. Do you understand? Matter of fact, teach me how to build these ships. To show me that you mean well and you ain't finna send me out there and that thing get halfway there and a hole come in it. I can't trust yours. I got to trust the one I built. And I'm going to tell you something. We really don't need him to teach us. If I could get y'all who've been over there building them for him to come on and join with me, we could build them for ourselves. I'm not here to beg nobody. Do I look like I'm a beggar? You better put some glasses on. Always telling me I need to take mine off. You better put yours on. And you notice, he don't feel no threat from me. Don't mean he look at me like he do his 4-year-old. Whosoever humbled himself as a little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. I don't have to be proud. I know what kind of authority I have. You the one don't know. But you're going to find out. I'm not here by myself. You think I could last in Mississippi teaching what I was teaching for the past 30-something years if I was by myself? Let's see you go do it. Oh, you just seen the head of the Ku Klux Klan laughing and talking with me. And told me, you ain't got no business saying nigga. Is that what he said? I'm not here to threaten you. I'm no threat to nobody. But the one who sent me, he already said, whoever fall on you, I'll deal with him. And whoever gets you angry enough to fall on them, woe to him. Because you know lamb don't even, you ain't never seen a lamb, even when they leading him to slaughter, he don't even growl at nobody. But the scripture said the lamb was angry. And the great day of his wrath has come. All them guns you got, I done told you crazy and guns don't go together. Man dressed up like Santa Claus and shot his family. You ain't going to believe it until you see it on a mass scale, are you? Only reason you're not insane right now is because I'm here with you and you have been granted an extension of time. I'm talking about the mind that you have. You can believe it or not. What you think grace is? Okay? Keep thinking that it's a joke. But Allah told me, he said, warn them, son of man. But they won't hear you because they wouldn't hear me. You notice when I'm quoting Jesus, you wouldn't even listen to Jesus. But I'm not going to refuse to talk to him. If he come back in here to talk with me, I'm going to talk with him again. And I'm going to show him the same courtesy and respect that I showed him this time. Because if I can't help you, I already know what you don't need a savior because you ain't in trouble. It's just like when you see a bunch of stuff in the salvage yard. You know why it's called a salvage yard? Because if it don't get salvaged, it's going to get crushed.
If I can't save you, you already on the list to be destroyed. It don't make no difference. You can be a 90-year-old, 100-something-year-old man, or a 5-year-old baby. If I can't reach you, you're going to be destroyed. And you can be black as tar or white as snow. You're going to be destroyed if I can't reach you. You call it what you want. Sitting up here trying to hustle up or angry at me as though I got something to threaten you with. They ain't got Phantom jets, got Cobra. He got stuff now that I ain't even heard of. Telling me, I'm sat up here with nothing, talking about you threatening me. I told you, if you wasn't scared, you wouldn't need all them weapons. I ain't got no weapons, and I ain't walking around here scared. You threaten me all you want. And then watch what happens. Allah controls the mind. He ain't worried about the finger on the trigger. The mind got to tell it what to pull. He'll take you and tell you, oh, you like to shoot people? Oh, go kill your children. Kill your wife. Kill them. You think this is some kind of joke? You see it happening? I told you before it started. And you still ain't got sense enough to recognize who's here talking to you. When Allah told you, you read it in there. It said, ain't no soul, but over it is a keeper. And he told the prophets, we have not made thee a keeper over them. Then he tells me, I will keep thee in the day of temptation that shall come upon all them that dwell on the face of the earth. Who you think talking to you now? All right. Keep being entertained. We have made hell an entertainment for them. You like to misunderstand. You don't want no understanding. You enjoy misunderstanding. You enjoy acting on ignorance. We have made hell an entertainment for them. Wish me dead all you want. But he who brought me here is the only one going to take me away. Some of you, I heard somebody take their phone off mute and try to say something. Don't ever do that when I invite someone in. I don't need you to help me teach nobody. What, I'm not a good enough spokesman for us? You can't deal with them. You had your chance, and you never was able to deal with them. You ain't never heard them, the Ku Klux Klan, or nobody else telling you to go join with this man or join with that man. Except with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And matter of fact, with Marcus Garvey, they didn't really tell him that. They deported Marcus Garvey. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, J.B. Stoner wrote a lesson and said, all niggers need to join with you. It's a message to the black man. I would read it to him. I started to read it to him. But he was already saying what Mr. Stoner said. And he appreciated the fact that I was listening to him, too. So he learned to not say so much. And that's good. You know, I'm not, when I'm talking to you, if I'm quiet, I'm listening to you. Even when I'm walking and doing stuff, I'm listening. I have to listen. I'm the judge. Why you think I can bear witness when he tell me about the United States as in relative to other nations? You can't say this nation is not greater than the rest. Certainly it is. And if you don't see that, you ain't no judge of nothing. Can't you see all the rest of them depend on this one? Yeah. I see it. and I'm not ashamed to acknowledge it. Why you think you don't never hear me telling white folks, you need to see what we building and done? What we building compared to what he done built? I got sense enough not to be call myself beating on my chest to a man who done built cities from sea to shining sea and then leaped off of this continent and went somewhere else built. The man sending stuff on Mars, man. Now, I ain't got nothing to brag to him about. But I can tell him this, with all of your knowledge of how to build, the one thing that you can't build that I can, and that's good character inside of the human body. I'm the only one can do that. Now, he that's from above. And if you don't come to me and let me change your mind to a righteous one, you going down. And I will sit right here and watch every one of you go down. And you all who's supposed to be with me, you're going to get enough of talking crazy about me when I ain't around. Getting tired of helping people who secretly hate me. I'm tired of it. You don't like me? Go on. Go away from me. Just leave me alone. Whatever I asked you to do for me. What? I very seldom ask you to bring me a drink of water. That stuff done got old. I told you that I would never be an embarrassment for you. I've lived up to my part. And you noticed. Mr. Robb came in. He had already looked at myself and the other Caucasians that was in here. That's why I told him you knew what I was about before you came in here, and you knew that argument that you had didn't belong in here with me. And he chuckled and he acknowledged it. He said, my religion is cool. And you know it didn't come from no fire. You know, it is cool. This may make some of y'all happy. You know, I have a defective heart. So sometime I be standing up and you'll see me do like that because my heart would be funny. You know. So, but Allah, He's able to keep me standing. He's able to make me able. Maybe I shouldn't have drunk that coffee. But I like coffee so well, but coffee started not to like me. So I better learn to leave it alone. For it make me leave it alone permanently. So, I want all of you to know that I'm here to speak up for you, my people. And I'm able to defend our position. Because people think, I'm past that thing getting mad every time somebody says something I don't like. I stay on point. Getting mad ain't gonna make nothing else. But the minute a fighter gets mad, he generally loses. Because strong emotions cloud your good judgment. You understand? You know, you can't follow your desire. Your desire leads you to hell. You got to follow your intellect, your intelligence. Do you understand? Do what's best for you. That's what you learn as you mature. Am I clear? All right. You all are my people, and I have love for you. I want to see you living good. And if you will support me in this effort that I have been guided into practical application of by Allah, you be living good. And you sure won't be nobody sitting around waiting on no food stamps. Huh? So, I love to see you eating bread that you bake. What would be even better is to see you eating bread that you bake with wheat that you grow on a mill that you grounded it on. Huh? I know that's right. Sure as I tell you. So, we could learn a lot from watching how, and I remember the messengers, he used to say, he said, study the devil, in that he works hard to be successful. You don't start crying because something don't work out. You remember when the Challenger, what was that, Challenger? It blew up, lost those astronauts? Certainly he shedded tears. Certainly they were sorry. And they went right back and built another one, and it didn't blow up. And he said they did not die in vain. And we're not going to sit around here and say, no, we ain't going to try it no more. No, we're going to do it again, and we're going to get it right. And they worked on it and fussed at whoever needed to be fussed at for something that should have been checked that wasn't. And they went and did it right. Not give up. The only thing that beats failing, if you keep trying, you haven't failed. You only fail when you stop trying. Do you hear me? All right. So I'm not here to help you fail. I'm here to help you succeed. Are we clear? All right. But if I don't help me, I can't help nobody. The messenger told me that. I can't just teach you to do the right thing. I got to do the right thing and live through doing the right thing myself. Otherwise, all my preaching help everybody but me. Do you understand? So I'm about to start taking better care of me, as well as preach to you how to take care of you. Do you understand? Okay. Love your neighbor as who? If you don't love yourself, how you going to know how to love your neighbor? All right, then. So, do anybody have something they want to ask me before I let you go? You know, I was so happy. I had just said I would like to talk to the Ku Klux Klan, and Brother Jamal went and found. So that's my little brother there. Yeah. I'm just more and more proud of how our young people taking charge. That's good. I'm definitely proud. I told him. Sometimes it look like he be growing a beard right. Yeah, I asked him, what you waiting on, man? And I don't do lots of praising of people. I could praise a whole lot of folks. But I learned that sometimes that makes people stumble. So don't let me telling you how good you are make you get satisfied. Well, I done made it. You ain't did it. You got to keep on doing it. Do you understand? Keep doing the good that you do. That's when you know it's for real. You understand? Okay. I see ain't nobody asking no questions, so I'm going to let you go. Maybe Mr. Stone and them still listening, and I'm going to end this with a song. I'm trying to...
Excuse me, Senator Man?
Yes, sir.
You have a caller, sir?
Yes, caller.
My name's Eric.
How you doing, Eric?
I consider myself Muslim because I know what Muslim means.
What you say?
Yes, my name's Eric. Muslim also. Yes. I consider myself.
Brother, he can hear you. Just go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah. I read the Quran and I read the Bible also. And when I read the Quran, I understand that Jesus calls himself the Son of Man. And when you said Son of Man, I thought you was referring to Jesus also.
You need to turn your television all the way down and talk to me through the phone, brother. But as far as Jesus calling himself the Son of Man, in the loose sense of the word, all of the messengers of God were Son of Man because it took all of them to get me here. Just like your whole body is you. But there's only really one member that can speak in the terms of I'm Eric or I'm this. That's your head. And so even though Jesus and all of them are one with me, they are not themselves the Son of Man. I'm the Son of Man, and all of them are part of me, and I'm part of them. And so you are in the day of the Son of Man. The Scripture teach you that the Son of Man is the Lord on the Sabbath day. And you were not in the Sabbath day 2,000 years ago, so there's no way you can think Jesus was the Son of Man. Otherwise, the world should have ended 2,000 years ago. But the world is ending now. Even the Caucasian just told you that this world, his world, they're going down. Well, it's because I'm here. This is my time. You'll notice, I'm the only black man in America that can stand up and talk to any kind of ruler. Don't make no difference who he is. And I always come out the one that winds up knowing and not guessing. You see, and I don't say that to belittle him. I mean, he was the ruler of this world. You can't belittle a man when you looking at all of the stuff the man done did, that you have nothing to compare to it. But, as he said, why you got to come back to me? Because I'm not coming back to you. I'm coming back to the mind that I put in you. Because I know what to do with it. You notice, I got the mind of the Caucasian, but I ain't going down with it. I'm resisting what he couldn't resist. As is written, when the Son shall say all things are unto me, then he will discover that it's with the exception of him who put all things unto him. That mind that he got put everything unto him. But now that mind that he got is out of control, can't control itself. It's like, you know, when he suggested that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had wives or whatever. I mean, you got congressmen been going with little page boys and priests and stuff, raping little boys and stuff. What are you talking about? You don't want to get in no conversation with me about morals. Because America is morally bankrupt. A Congress that's dysfunctional. In order to make a black face that's in the White House, regardless if he got white education, his skin is black. They're willing to trash the credit of the United States to try to make him look bad. Just show you. Morally bankrupt. George Washington warned them, if you say, of all the dispositions and habits that make for political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. And in vain would that man claim the tribute of patriotism who should labor to subvert these great pillars of human happiness. And he just went on. You better go and read and study what the Founding Father had to say. I ain't like you think that wisdom is somehow colored. Wisdom is like gold. It's where you find it. You know, I wouldn't care if I found some gold on a green-covered hill or on a sandy hill or wherever. It's still gold, and I want it. Do you understand? Well, all praise is due to Allah. That's the way wisdom is. I don't care if George Washington said it. I don't care if Thomas Jefferson said it. I don't care who said it. If it's wisdom, I'm going to lay hold to it. Because the scripture already said, from one blood God made all nations. So I don't know what your problem is. You know, you notice he didn't deny that he come from us. Well, what are you talking about trying to get rid of you? Get rid of you for what? At one time, you wasn't even here. So I don't need to get rid of you. We brought you here. Just like our white cells in our blood. We need them. They're little fighters. Love to fight. Let's see here. Where is this at? Here it is. That's it here. Folks get mad at me because I got some sin. Well, you get mad at me all you want. I sung this song. That's right.
I used to love to hear Ray Charles sing this song. I can't sing it like him, but I hope I can do it justice, because it is a beautiful song about the continent of our belief.
You know, as we mature, we learn that most people don't even know what that song is about, and they're mad because I played it. The continent of North America is a beautiful continent. The United States is of that continent. It's not the continent. The United States of America. That's not what that song says. And when you drive across this country many times, I done drove across and I done witnessed how beautiful it is. Allah didn't make no ugly creation. He made a beautiful creation. The people make it ugly. It is beautiful. You're getting mad. Well, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you don't know nothing about what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. You're too busy making noise while he was talking. You didn't want to come in here with your hypocritical self trying to judge me. Fire on you. So, anybody else got something they need to say? Get said. Otherwise, I'll let you go. Yeah. Folks got plans for tomorrow. So I'm going to let them go get some sleep so they can plan, do what they plan. So may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. And, brother, you be sure, he said about 2 weeks from now, you call Mr. Robb and let him know that we would welcome him back to have more dialogue. I mean, I think the first time he was just feeling me out. to see if he would be disrespected in here or whether it was a respectful forum. I think he went away with the conclusion that it's a respectful forum. So I look forward to talking with him again. And we will inform you if he agrees. I'm pretty sure he has to really check with some of his people, too. They may not want him to come back in. But so we hope that they will want to dialogue with us some more so we can finally lay to rest all of this friction between us and learn to respect each other. So, may Allah bless us all, keep us safe in our right mind, and grant that we make it through this next 24 hours without offending him or doing harm to our own soul. Allah, Assalamu alaikum.